That does it here for us on the studio on the square. We're going to send it now to the main studios for the news at 5.
And right now at 5 o'clock, a member of the right-wing group Proud Boys pleads guilty to an attack on Portland streets.
A new revelation into how a man allegedly stole expensive cars all around Multnomah County with inside help at the DMV.
But it's like, I'm not leaving until I get him out.
And a neighbor saves a life when a fire next door leaves a man trapped in a burning garage.
I support ICE. I support everything that they do. We're not out here to pick on people.
That's the reaction from the Clatsop County Sheriff over a recent ICE arrest at the courthouse in Astoria. The cell phone video shows what went down yesterday. There's been plenty of pushback against ICE in Portland, but it's a different story in some rural areas.
KGW's Devin Haskins joining us now live in Astoria this evening. And Devin, apparently the sheriff knew about this arrest and knew it was coming and supports it.
Yeah, he does. He welcomes ICE agent day or night. It's not going to stop them from doing their job here at a public courthouse, and wants to make it clear, though, that they aren't. The sheriff's office is not out targeting a specific group. He's not helping ICE target a specific group, but is just following the law. The cell phone video shared by the Daily Historian shows a group of people surrounding Fabian Alberto Zamora Rodriguez as he walks out of the courtroom. The group tried to stop ICE agents, and eventually it appears ICE agents used pepper spray. Moments later, he's led out of the courthouse in handcuffs, the group rubbing their eyes from the spray. Oregon sanctuary status states law enforcement can't help arrest a person for just being here illegally. In other counties, sheriffs have made it known that ICE agents aren't welcome inside. It's not the case in Clatsop County.
We're not going to say you can't go into that. That's a public courthouse. And so why not? You know, I'm sorry, I'm not going to escort them in there. But, you know, they know they can't make an arrest in the courtroom. They abided by the rules. They did everything correctly. And if this guy would have said, I'm not coming out, at lunchtime, we would have arrested him for trespass. And then we would have taken him over.
A spokesperson for ICE defended coming into the courthouses by saying in a statement, it's actually often due to the implementation of unreasonable, quote, sanctuary city, unquote, policies that prevent ICE from being notified of the presence of criminal aliens in jails or prisons, which then necessitates that we utilize options like enforcement actions at courthouses to accomplish our law enforcement mission. Now, Zamora Rodriguez was arrested and charged in February on 12 felony counts, including child sex abuse or encouraging child sex abuse. Back to you.
Devin Haskins live in Astoria for us. Thank you, Devin. And today, both Oregon Senators Jeff Merkley and Ron Wyden visited the border to investigate treatment of detained migrants. The senators visited the Border Patrol holdings and processing centers, as well as a center that provides aid. Senator Merkley introduced a bill to the Senate that would end family separations and set minimum health and safety standards. The senator first visited the border in Texas more than a year ago to bring attention to the issue. A fatal crash shut down traffic in both directions on Highway 18 in Dayton. One person died. Police closed that road at the intersection with Highway 221. And if you travel through that area, you will notice a detour in place. A member of the right-wing group Proud Boys has pleaded guilty to assault. Donovan Flippo has accepted a plea deal. He was accused of beating up a man in Northeast Portland last summer. The victim said the conflict started when Flippo and another Proud Boy yelled, "Build the wall," when they drove by in a truck. The other Proud Boy in this case was indicted but has not been arrested yet. Flippo will get 2 years probation, a fine, and 8 days in jail in his plea deal. He'll also be banned from participating in large protests in Multnomah County during his probation. Beaverton police are asking for help to find a suspicious man they say tried to lure an 11-year-old girl. It allegedly happened earlier this month on the afternoon of July 6th. Police say the man tried to get the girl to come to his car in the parking lot of a Walmart. This happened on Murray Boulevard. The girl said no and got help. The suspect is an older white man in his 60s or 70s with scruffy facial hair and a tattoo on his left arm. He was driving a red pickup truck. If you know something about this, contact police. A random attack in Gresham with a hammer. It happened at 5 this morning at a 7-Eleven near 181st in Halsey.
Police want your help to find the suspect you see on your screen. That's 39-year-old Jonathan Jones, and he may be driving this vehicle. It's a 2014 tan Jeep Cherokee. License plate, Oregon plate 006 LLC. If you see this man, if you see Jones, call 911. The victim did suffer serious head injuries. So we want to tell you now about this woman. She's a state worker, trusted with millions of DMV records, and now she is charged with bribery and a number of other crimes. Let's bring in KGW's Pat Dorsey. He's on this story for us. Hey, Pat. And I guess this story is about more than just this worker.
Well, it's absolutely right. Police say she was helping her boyfriend, who they describe as a prolific thief. They were stealing expensive wheels and tires off SUVs all around the metro area.
This is the boyfriend, Israel Fonseca. He's charged in a number of crimes in Multnomah County, including theft, auto theft, felon in possession of a firearm, and identity theft. He pled not guilty today in court. His criminal background includes convictions for bank robbery and attempted murder. The DMV worker is Valerie Applegate. She's worked there since 2010. She's charged with accepting bribes, auto theft, official misconduct, ID theft, and computer crimes. She also pled not guilty.
Portland police say it went down like this. Israel Fonseca loved SUVs, Suburbans, Tahoes. He loved their wheels and their tires, and he would drive around and look for ones that he thought were very cool, and then he'd send a question to his girlfriend, Valerie Applegate, who just happened to work at the DMV at Mall 205. He'd ask for the address of the owner. She'd give it to him. Then he'd wait at the address until they went to the mall, a Blazers game, or maybe a movie. And when they did, he'd go steal the car, strip it, sell it, and sometimes videotape himself. The lead detective on the case told me that local police officers cracked it when they noticed a lot of nice rims being stolen during Blazers games. They organized a special mission, which they say led to Fonseca and everything else. Back to you.
Wow, that is an intricate plot and plan. Thank you, Pat. The Portland Police Bureau is responding to a new report detailing its interactions with homeless people. That report found more than half of arrests involve someone who is homeless. And the majority of those arrests are also on warrants, either for failure to appear in court or other charges. Police note arrest numbers don't show the entire picture of all the ways officers interact with people who are homeless. They also said when it comes to the warrant issue, officers have no discretion there because those are issued by a judge and have to be followed. The review also did not look into whether police were specifically targeting homeless people.
I think one thing that's critical to note is what the report didn't find. It didn't find that we criminalized those in the houseless community. You know, there's a lot of concern about our interactions with those who are experiencing houselessness, and you know, we try and be very mindful and you know, treat everyone with dignity and respect.
The review did recommend the justice system needs to come up with a better way to resolve warrants so officers aren't arresting the same people over and over again. A property owner in Lane County says she's facing thousands of dollars in fines because of what squatters are doing to her land. Beth Campbell lives in Southern California but owns the property near Dorena. The home doesn't have running water or electricity and has trash piling up, as you can see. She says she's been trying to kick out the people who are squatting there for years, including members of her own family. Her latest attempt earlier this month didn't work.
They hired a public defender who said that my 24-hour notice was not proper, so now I have to get a lawyer and start over.
Neighbors are fed up with the mess, and the county ordered Campbell to clean it up by the end of August.
I totally empathize with their situation. If I was looking at and driving by what they're driving by every day, I would be just as angry as they are. I have spent hundreds of hours in the last 3-4 years attempting to get this taken care of.
Campbell could face thousands of dollars in fines if she doesn't take care of it.
A man in Washougal saved his neighbor's life this morning during a house fire. Matt Sullivan says his wife woke him up early this morning saying that the neighbor's house was burning. Look at the images here. When Matt went outside, he saw things like this. He heard the neighbor shouting that he was trapped in the garage. Matt grabbed the door and bent it enough so his neighbor could crawl out.
Started beating on the door. I broke a window and yelled in to see if I could wake him up. And then as I was beating on the house, calling and yelling, I could hear him saying he was in the garage. I'm glad I was able to save him. And that's my biggest fear is when I was trying to get him out, that wasn't going to be able to get them out, but it was like, I'm not leaving until I get them out.
Nice job, Matt. The neighbor did have burns to his hands and face and was taken to a burn center for treatment.
Boy, he's a hero, isn't he? Well, this is a live look over downtown Portland tonight from our Rose City Sky Cam. Nice out there. Relatively cool compared to the heat wave the rest of the country is dealing with tonight.
Meteorologist Joe Ranieri. He got the lucky gig. He's at the Cathedral Park Jazz Festival enjoying this nice weather for our first forecast tonight. Hey, Joe.
Hey there, you guys. It's not a bad gig tonight. It's absolutely gorgeous out here. We're starting to see kind of a light breeze. So if you're going to be coming out here to St. John's at the Cathedral Park to listen to some music, we're seeing some very pleasant conditions. Temperatures right now are in the mid-70s. You can see behind me, the festival just got underway about 30 minutes ago or so, and we're going to continue to hear music the rest of tonight and the entire weekend. About 10,000 people are expected to come out here to this weekend's Jazz Festival. This, again, like you said, Dan, this is the 39th annual event, and it brings out a lot of crowd. And the best thing about the concert is it's all free. So if you're going to come down here, you don't have to worry about paying for any tickets, but if you want anything to eat and drink, obviously that will cost you. But as we look at the weather headlines tonight, winds are going to start to pick up. We've been seeing kind of a light breeze, but if you're along the Oregon coast, those winds will be anywhere from 20 to 25 miles per hour at times. And it'll be sunny and warmer tomorrow, getting close to get this to 90 degrees by Sunday afternoon. We'll get close to it in a few locations by tomorrow afternoon, but I think a better shot of seeing 90s really up and down the I-5 corridor and across the metro area by Sunday. As we look at the hour-by-hour forecast for your Friday night, we're looking at temperatures jumping up into about 76 degrees by 6 o'clock, so another 45 minutes, and then we'll cool off into the low 70s heading the later part of tonight. I'll talk more about the warm-up over the next couple of days and how long we can expect to see the summer weather stick around with us, and that's coming up in less than 10 minutes. Back to you guys.
To hang up and beware. Just hang up. The joy of life.
Advice there from a woman hit with a rampant scam. Yeah, she is not alone. Government imposter scams are surging now across the country. Social Security scams in particular seem to be the ones increasing the most. We first told you about this uptick yesterday, and today KGW's Morgan Romero followed up with a victim to find out how scammers are preying on these people. Morgan?
Yeah, it's really sad, Dan. There are different versions of the Social Security scam going around. Some are robocalls, which I told you about yesterday. Others are real people on the other end of the line. And of course, their goal is to collect personal information about you and likely steal your money. The FTC came out with a report earlier this month showing government imposter scams topping the list of reported frauds. From January to May of this year, this graph shows Social Security scams topped that list with nearly 65,000 reports. You may have been hit with the robocall version, a recording saying your Social Security number or benefits are suspended because of suspicious or criminal activity, and you have to press a button or call a number back to remedy it. Then there are scams involving real people. That's what happened to Christine just yesterday. A scammer who said he was a Social Security agent made up an elaborate and convincing story about Christine having a warrant out for her arrest. He said her social was used in a money laundering and trafficking scheme, and she had to keep their conversation secret. The imposter pressured her for hours, saying he could help safeguard her money if she withdrew it and bought gift cards, and then gave him the PIN numbers. She lost $8,000. Christine wants others to know how persuasive these people are and how dangerous this scam is.
We work for everything we have. So to have something like this happen is just devastating.
Elected officials and experts say the scammers are usually overseas. NBC News reports most of the calls come from telephone boiler rooms in India, and they spoof caller ID. So what can you do to protect yourself? Be suspicious of any call from a government agency asking for money or personal info, especially when it's out of the blue. SSA agents will not threaten your benefits or suspend your number. Never pay with a gift card or wire transfer. If someone asks you to, it's a scam. So when you get a call like that, just hang up, as Christine said earlier. And if you're concerned, call the real agency to see if they're trying to get a hold of you and why. And of course, report government imposter scams to the Federal Trade Commission or the Office of the Inspector General for the SSA. I sat down with the Oregon Attorney General to talk solutions and how to fight these scams. You'll hear from her coming up on the news at 6. Back to you guys.
And we thank Christine for sharing her story. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Morgan. Coming up tonight on NBC Nightly News, it's an investigation into accusations that one man has been mismanaging nursing homes all across the country. This man, multimillionaire Joseph Schwartz, took over more than 100 homes in a 2-year span. And since then, allegations have surfaced about unpaid bills, poor patient care, and a lack of resources for nurses.
It's been working under very, very trying conditions, but we do love our patients. As I said, this place is very special to me. I mean, I have a lot of questions.
These nursing home deals also involve hundreds of millions in taxpayer dollars. Tonight on Nightly News, find out how Schwartz reacted to all this when the investigative team knocked on his door. That's coming up at 5:30.
It's always interesting. Amazon says it's now hiring more than 800 workers for its new fulfillment center in Salem. The people who get hired will be tasked with packaging and shipping items. Amazon says it offers a $15 minimum per hour minimum wage. Candidates must be at least 18 years old.
Let's send it back out to Joe Ranieri at the Cathedral Park Jazz Festival. And Joe, a lot of people are wondering how the weekend's shaping up.
Oh, Laurel, it's going to be probably one of the hottest weekends we've seen in weeks, and definitely the hottest weekend we've seen so far the month of July. I know a lot of us have been waiting to see that summer heat. Well, it's going to be arriving, especially tomorrow and into Sunday, too, with highs in the mid to the upper 90s, although I'm expecting to see highs closer to 90 degrees on Sunday. But if you're going to be coming out here to St. John's and you want to listen to some good music over the next couple of days, come on down. The nice thing about this, like I told you earlier, it is free, and anywhere from 8 to about 10,000 different people will be coming out here for the weekend. It goes tonight and all the way into Sunday. Now, this started about 4:30 this afternoon. You can kind of see the lawn in front of the stage is starting to fill up with some of the people. I imagine by tomorrow afternoon, this place is going to be packed with people coming down here to listen to some music. But as we look at the temperatures on your Friday night, mid to the upper 70s throughout much of the metro area, we are looking at a little bit of some breezy conditions, and that's going to be the case especially along the Oregon coast. And speaking of the Oregon coast, you're looking at readings right around the mid to the upper 60s from Astoria to North Bend. Along the east side of the state, pretty warm over there, especially over in Rome and Medford with temperatures close to 90 degrees. Southern Oregon is going to be one very hot place over the next couple of days. On our satellite and radar, we're not going to have a whole lot happening over the next couple of days. We're going to have a strong ridge of high pressure move through, and basically what that means for us is a lot of sunshine and warm temperatures as well. By 8:30 tonight, there might be a little bit of some high clouds filter in, but we're not going to be seeing any threat of rain because of that ridge. That ridge is going to act like essentially a big wall from any fronts that are going to be trying to move through here the next couple of days. And by tomorrow afternoon, 12:30, 1 o'clock, nothing but clear skies. And that's what we're going to be seeing, not just tomorrow, but into Sunday as well. You can see early Sunday morning, there could be a little bit of some foggy conditions along the central Oregon coast, but as you go through parts of the valley, you're going to be seeing sunny skies from Portland all the way down to Eugene. Currently, we're looking at temperatures. We just clocked in at 77 for the official high, mid to the upper 70s, and believe it or not, we're going to be seeing temperatures close to 15 degrees warmer heading into the later part of the weekend. 68 degrees was the high from Astoria down into Tillamook earlier this afternoon, and throughout the west end of the Dalles, temperatures in the mid-70s. So tomorrow and Sunday throughout the metro area, daytime highs will be in the mid to the upper 80s. Again, I have it down for 89 tomorrow, or on Sunday rather, but I'm expecting it to get closer to 90 in many locations. Sunny and nice along the Oregon coast. Daytime highs right around the upper 60s to the low 70s. Now throughout the valley, close to 90 for McMinnville and Salem tomorrow. Finally feeling like summer. And the winds coming in from the north about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Basically, the winds will be non-existent heading into the next couple of days. And it'll be sunny and pleasant conditions throughout eastern Oregon. Pendleton, daytime high of 86. And throughout the Oregon Cascades, a great weekend to do some camping up there. Santiam Pass, 75 degrees. Willamette Pass, you'll be topping out at about 80 degrees in a few locations, so pretty warm in the higher elevations. And over the next few days, we'll start to see our warm-up finally. Mid-80s for Saturday, close to 90 on Sunday, and we'll cool off a little bit for Monday, and then the big cool down arrives by the early part of next week with highs in the upper 70s to the low 80s. We'll be right back.
Hey, check this out. It's a group of people and their pets who are getting their exercise in and keeping their community safe at the same time.
A new Paws on Patrol program just launched this week in Bellevue through the city's police department. This is really a great idea. It trains people on how to spot suspicious activity while they're out walking their dogs.
The more people in a neighborhood that are looking for criminal activity, the less likely we're going to have crime.
Truly, it really reminds me that it's up to us, the community, to invest in our community to make sure that it's safer. It is kind of like the old days, and it brings you back into the community in a really diverse new way.
The program already has more than 200 participants.
That's a lot of people. The Portland Highland Games kick off at Mount Hood Community College tomorrow. This event offers the full Scottish experience, as they say, with bagpipers, drummers, and athletes. Some of the competitions include the stone throw, the kilted mile, and the Scottish hammer swing. Gates open at 8 tomorrow morning.
Several years ago, I had to throw a barrel in the Highland Games. It went about 5 feet.
That's pretty good, though. That's not bad.
For a fast forward to 6 o'clock, a group is again trying to get a gun safety measure on the ballot that would require you to lock up your firearms.
We'll explain what gun owners could be held liable for if this passes, coming up at 6 o'clock.
Next, age, just a number, and a golf score apparently for one man who won't let getting older take away his love for the game. A golfer in Bend is certainly living his best life.
Nice stroke there. That's Dave Lamson. He regularly shoots pretty well, under 90, he says, while playing. But get this, he is also 90 years old. He started golfing as a teenager 75 years ago at a club where he grew up near San Francisco.
I've played regular golf ever since. Love the game. Don't want to give it up, even though I'm getting a little old for it now.
Looks great. He looks great, doesn't he? Along the way, Lamson served in the Korean War. He also beat prostate cancer. Says the best part of this hobby is spending time with his wife, Candy, who regularly matches up against him. Cheers to both.
Great head of hair, too.
Not bad.
Nightly News is next.